Yeah, well, as far as resuming research from a more, solid base, or more personally solid base, or more spiritually solid base, I guess. Um, yeah, I've given a lot of DMT, 60 people, 400 doses, varying doses, small, medium, and large. Um, and I think the questions for me now aren't as much, at least right now, what happens when you give more people DMT. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You give people a big dose of DMT and certain things reliably happen. Um, I do have a lot of hypotheses I put forth in the book. There's pineal hypotheses, there's DMT hypotheses. And I think what the next step is to put to the test some of those hypotheses. And most of them involve, are there fluctuations in levels of DMT during particular naturally occurring altered states of consciousness, like meditation, like near death, like the abduction experience, um, dreams, psychosis, those kinds of things. And there was a very fruitful field of study in the 60s and in the 1970s looking at levels of DMT in blood and in urine in various people and various conditions. Um, and those studies ceased for a couple of reasons. One may have been scientific, that it was just hard to differentiate levels between groups. Um, somebody with schizophrenia might have the same DMT level as somebody that was completely normal. But I think also the studies fell victim to the wave of anti-psychedelic hysteria that swept the scientific and political community at the time. Um, and I think there are a lot of unanswered questions that remain regarding what are levels of DMT like in various conditions and states. So probably sort of where Dr. Barker and I are heading, Steve Barker, um, is to develop a very sensitive assay for DMT and other related compounds in the blood and in urine, maybe even spinal fluid. But it's easier to collect urine and blood, and start to see if by applying an extremely sensitive way to measure levels of DMT in the blood, we might be able to start answering some questions about the role of endogenous DMT in some of these states of consciousness. Um, So that would be a way to re-enter the field without having to go through all of the hoops of giving a drug.